Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone and good morning ma'am. I'm Sheila Melinia from the 13th group. In here I will explain about the material of noun count nouns. But before I explain it, I just want to say thank you for the moment because at this time I can present this material. And in this slide, I will inform you about the member of our group. As you can see, it should be 2 members, but yeah, I'm Sheila Melinia, and then the second one is Kasanti, but for some reason, Kasanti cannot join and accompany me to present this presentation. So yeah, I don't think it is a big problem, then I will continue to present this material. Yeah, today I'm going to talk about a few points related to non-count nouns or uncountable nouns. They are the same meaning. And the first point is I'm going to talk about some common non-count nouns. And the second is basic article usage. And the next is about general guidelines for article usage. And the last, I'm going to talk about expression of quantity used with count and non-count nouns. So yeah, let's get started. And I think everyone in here is already familiar with non-count nouns or uncountable nouns, right? They are the same meaning. So before I explain about the few points before this slide, I just want to give an introduction about this. What is uncountable nouns? Every nouns can be counted, but not all nouns can be counted the same way. In English, there are 2 main types of nouns. They are the first countable nouns and the second one is uncountable nouns. So yeah, today I'm going to talk about the uncountable nouns. Unlike countable nouns, uncountable nouns are nouns we cannot count. As you can see, the countable, able to count, but they are prefix an. It means not in the negative, so uncountable nouns means the nouns cannot be counted, yeah. And then with uncountable nouns, they have only one form and there is no plural. For example, rain. We cannot count rain, 2 rains, 3 rains, no. So rain is uncountable noun. And the next is with uncountable nouns, we cannot use a or an or a number. For example, like rice. We cannot count rice like a rice, 2 rice, 3 rice, and etc. No, it is impossible. So we just use the word of rice without use a or a number. And the next is with uncountable nouns, we always use a singular verb because there is no plural verb. For example, like sugar. As we know, sugar is uncountable nouns. So if we want to give a sentence about sugar, like sugar is sweet, we just use a singular verb. Is in the sentence of sugar is sweet, it means a singular verb, yeah. And then the for with uncountable noun, we can use some determiners. For example, this or that, as you can see in the table of this slide. But just focus on the 3 column on the top of the table in this slide. It is about articles, possessive and demonstratives. And for example, like what is this? This is my coffee. This is your tea. And then can use possessive like my coffee is for you, and then etc. So the last point is no determiners for general statement. For example, as you can see, in many temperate climates, the wheat is an important grain. As you know, wheat is in bahasa it means gandum, cannot be counted. The sense of in general is suggested without the definite article. What is definite article? It will be explained in the next slide. And so I think you are understand about this first slide of introduction of uncountable nouns or non-count nouns. So what are normally uncountable? Yeah, let's have a look. Like some common non-count nouns, they are the same meaning. The first is abstract ideas. So abstract ideas are uncountable noun. Abstract nouns have no physical existence. They refer to ideas, emotion, and concepts that you cannot see or touch. For example, like love. You cannot count love. You cannot say 2 loves, 3 loves, 5 loves, and then etc. Because you cannot touch or hear love. So love is uncountable noun. And then the next is liquids and gases. You can count the container it, but you cannot count the liquid or gases. For example, like milk. You cannot count milk, but maybe you can use the container of the worth of milk. For example, like 2 bottles of milk. You are counting the container, in this case like the bottles, but you are not counting the milk itself. And then for another example, like wine, water, oil, coffee, rain, soup, smoke, blood, juice, and fog. And there is the types of uncountable nouns, the types of liquids and gases. For another example, maybe you can usually you hear someone say a coffee or 2 coffees. You know, coffees is uncountable noun. So why is a number used if coffee is supposed to be uncountable? The fact is they are asking for a cup of coffee or 2 cups of coffee. So you are counting the cups of coffee, you are not counting the coffee itself. So yeah, this is just a short way to asking for it. In bahasa, ketika kamu mendengar orang meminta buatin aku 2 kopi misalkan. For example, it usually say from the native speaker. Itu berarti mereka meminta 2 cup kopi atau 2 gelas atau 2 cangkir kopi. Nah, itu hanya hanya kalimat pendek untuk meminta kopi. Jadi hanya untuk short way to asking for it. Hanya short way for asking for it. Oke, itu hanya kalimat supaya cepat aja gitu mintanya. The next is about made of smaller parts. Though are considered as a whole, these are normally uncountable. For example, like sugar. Sugar consists of many small grains of sugar. Though it is considered as a whole thing, so you cannot count sugar. Maybe if you are bored, you can count the individual grain of sugar, but you're counting the grains of sugar. You're not counting the sugar itself. So sugar is uncountable noun. If you want, you can count. Maybe you can use a teaspoon of sugar, like in this slide. But yeah, you are counting the number of teaspoon used and not the sugar itself. Another example of made of smaller parts is like rice, then flour. So dirt or in bahasa kotoran, and then dust, sand, pasir, and garam, salt. And then another example. And the next is nouns that say what something is made of are normally uncountable nouns. Some examples are like wood, glass, paper, ice, gold, silver, iron, cotton, wool, still, and then etc. For example, in this slide, you cannot count gold, but you can count bars of gold. But it means you are counting the bars of gold. You're not counting the gold itself. And then gold is expensive. Notice how we use a singular verb is because gold is uncountable nouns. That is. And the next is, as we have seen, some food is uncountable. Usually it is food that needs to be cut off or eaten in smaller pieces. For example, are bread, fish, cheese, chocolate, and meat. For example, in this slide, bread. Bread is uncountable noun. You can count slices of bread. For example, in the picture of this slide, there are 3 slices of bread, but here you're counting the slices, the number of slices, and you are not counting the bread itself. The same with loaves of bread, you're counting the number of loaves. We don't say breads with an S at the end as you do in some other languages, so be careful of that. And then the last is about, you need to be careful with the following uncountable nouns as they may be considered countable in other languages. Examples are like furniture, advice, work, news, information, luggage, money. These are all uncountable nouns. Now you may be thinking, what? Money? Money is uncountable nouns? Yes, it is. It is true. Money is uncountable nouns. You can count coins, you can count dollars. Or I have 5 coins, I have $90. But it means you are counting the coins, and or you are counting the dollars of money. You're not counting the money itself. For example, you cannot say I have 5 monies. No, there is impossible and there is wrong. Alright, so the noun money is uncountable, and the nouns is like time, money, clothes. The seconds, minutes, hours, you can count it. Like seconds, minutes, hours, you can count dollars, rupiahs, coins, you can count shirts, sweaters, etc. But you cannot count time, money, and clothes. And then another example. And then the next is about the basic article usage. They have 4 types of basic article usage. They are using a or an, using the, and no article is needed for classification that is non-specific or general thing. For more explanation, I will continue to the next slide. But just remember, in this slide, you need to categorize the noun as count or non-count to choose the correct article. As we know, there are 3 articles like a, an, and the are determiners or noun markers that function to specify if the noun is general or specific in its reference. So in English, use 2 kinds of articles. The articles a or an are indefinite articles. They are used with a singular countable noun when the noun refers to non-specific or generic reference. And indefinite, it means in bahasa itu seperti merujuk ke suatu anggota atau ke suatu kelompok, jadi belum pasti itu loh barangnya gitu loh. Misalkan ada di suatu tempat itu ada banyak pulpen yang tersedia, Nah, kalau misalnya kita menyebutin a pen, itu kita nggak tahu mana sih pulpen yang dia maksud. Yang dia maksud itu dianya itu orang yang ngomong, tolong ambilkan pulpen itu, tolong ambilkan sebuah pulpen di situ, misalkan gitu. Terus di situ tersedia banyak pulpen. Nah, kita belum pasti nih pulpen mana yang dia maksud. Itu yang dimaksud indefinite. And the second one is the article the. is a definite article. It is used to show specific reference and can be used with both singular and plural nouns and with both countable and uncountable nouns. Definite, it means in bahasa itu pasti, jadi udah jelas. Jadi orang yang minta kita atau orang yang ngomong misalkan the pen atau for example, it is the pen. Jadi pulpen ini udah jelas, udah diketahui oleh orang yang diajak berbicara gitu. Jadi udah pasti pulpennya itu yang mana. Nah, notice how the meaning of this sentence in George said the computer is broken. Ya, notice how the meaning of this sentence change with the article. The first sentence is George said the computer is broken. Please see the word of the before the word of computer. It means this suggests that George refers to a specific computer, one that the speakers of this sentence as well as the speaker's intended audience recognize the broken computer could be a certain one among many computers. Jadi komputer yang dimaksud sama George di kalimat pertama ini, komputernya itu udah jelas komputer mana yang dia maksud gitu. But in the second sentence, George said a computer is broken. In that sentence, suggests that the broken computer is any one among many computers that the speakers and audience might know. The computer is non-specific. Seperti yang aku udah bilang tadi sebelumnya, kalau misalnya kita menggunakan a or an itu belum spesifik because it is indefinite article. It means indefinite article atau belum jelas, jadi belum pasti barang mana sih atau komputer mana sih yang dimaksud gitu. And important, you can see non-count nouns don't use the indefinite article a or an because what? Because uncountable nouns have only one form and there is no plural or singular. However, they can use the definite article the if what is being referred to is specific. But they can also use no article, yeah, as you can see in this slide. Alright, and then I will continue to the next slide. They are the first is about using a or an. So a and an are used with singular countable nouns when the noun is non-specific or generic or general reference. For example, you can see I don't want a car. So in the sentence, car is a singular countable noun that is not specific. It could be any car. And the next example, she would like to go to a university that specializes in teaching. You can notice a university. University is a singular countable noun. Although it begins with a vowel, the first sound of the word is U. Or in bahasa university like U, ya. Thus, a instead of an is used in this sentence. It is also generic or general. It could be any university with this specialization, not a specific one. And then the last example, I would like to eat an apple. In this sentence, apple is a singular countable noun that is not specific. It could be any apple. Itu bisa apple mana aja gitu, belum pasti. Seperti yang aku udah bilang, kalau misalkan kita menggunakan a atau an, itu belum pasti benda mana sih yang kita maksud, karena itu masih kelompok yang suatu kelompok yang belum jelas sesuatu mana sih yang dimaksud, benda mana yang gitu yang dimaksud. Jadi itu masih dalam bentuk kelompok atau grup. You can see a versus an, ya. And then the next using the, when we using the is used with both singular and plural nouns and with both countable and uncountable nouns when the noun is specific or not general. For the example, the book that I read last night was great. Jadi bukunya itu udah pasti, because it means in this sentence, book is a singular countable noun. It is also specific because of the phrase that I read last night. The writer and reader or speaker and listener know which book is being referred to. And then the second example, the books assigned for this class are very useful. And the sentence, books in a plural, countable nouns. It is also specific because of the phrase for this class. The writer and reader or speaker and listener know which books are being referred to. And then the last example, the advice you gave me was very helpful. In the sentence, advice, we know advice is uncountable noun because we cannot count advice. However, it is specific because of the phrase you gave me. It is clear which piece of advice was helpful. Jadi advice mana yang sangat bantu dirinya gitu. So yeah, here are some more specific rules. Use the when a noun can be made specific from a previous mention in the text. This is also known as second or subsequent mention. For example, he would like to live in a large house. The house should have at least 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Jadi kita bisa tahu kalau misalkan a large house di kalimat pertama itu belum pasti itu rumahnya, tapi kalau misalkan di kalimat kedua the house should have, the-nya itu menandakan rumah yang di kalimat pertama gitu. Jadi udah pasti rumah mana yang dimaksud kalau misalkan kita menggunakan kata the. And the next it is about the expression of quantity used with count and non-count nouns. Here are some common quantifiers. The first is much or many. Much and many are used in negative sentences and question. For example, how much money do you have? Or there isn't much money left. And then how many dogs are there in the kennel? Or there aren't many dogs left to be adopted. And for so much is used with as you can see, much is used with uncountable nouns, and then money is used with countable nouns. Yeah, just it. And then the second one is about a lot of or lots of. They can be used with both counts and non-count nouns. A lot of and lots of are used in positive sentences, or we can say affirmative sentence. For example, there is a lot of money in my wallet, or there is lots of money in my wallet. And then there are lots of dogs in this neighborhood, or there are a lot of dogs in this neighborhood. So quantity dari a lot of and lots of itu bisa digunakan di dalam countable nouns and uncountable nouns. And then the third is about a little or a few. A little and a few indicate a quantity or a number. Use a little with non-count nouns and use a few with count nouns. For example, there is a little money left, and then he has a few dogs. So yeah, you just notice the notes. There is an important difference between a little and little, used with non-count words, and between a few and few, used with count words. Alright, and then just wait a minute, and then what is it? If I say for example just little versus a little, if I say he received little education, this means he does not have enough education. So he didn't receive much education. But if I say he received a little education, it means that although he is received some education, that education is probably enough. So yeah, that is the difference about a little and a little. And the next is, what is the differences about a few and few? If I say there are few solution, it means they are not have enough solution and there will need more solution. But if I say there are a few solution, it means there are some solution, not a lot of solution, but probably enough about the solution. And then the next, please look at this. Here is a table of quantifiers which summarizes which types of nouns: count, noun counts, and but. This adjective can be used, okay, like I can say, for example, count, one apple, two apple, each apples, every apples, and then etc. But noun counts, noun maybe, for example, I don't have much money, and then, but you can use not any or no, most, some, enough, a lot of, lots of, and then etc. You can use with countable and then non-countable nouns. So yeah, this is the reference I can take for this material. And then, so yeah, any question you can ask about this material. If you don't understand about the part of this material, you can ask me, or you can ask the lecturers about this uncountable nouns. So yeah, I hope my explanation of non-count nouns has been helpful in general, and you can enjoy it, and then you can understand about this material. So yeah, I just want to say thank you for your attention, and yeah, goodbye.